welcome back to Jay versus Horror. I'm your host, Jay Wall. And today, guys, we're going to be counting down my top 10 horror films of 2017. This is a tough year, guys. I looked through it relentlessly for the last week and made some tough decisions, but we're going to have to talk about some honorable mentions at the end of this show because there's just too many. There was at least about 25 films that I wanted to put in this top 10, and especially there was about 5 or 6 that got pushed out towards the back, and I really want to talk about them, but I just could not get them on the list. Too many good films this year. So let's get started, guys. At number 10, there's a lot of movies I wanted to put here, guys, but I settled on Annabelle Creation, and to be honest with you, it's the only Annabelle film of the three that I really enjoy. And of course, Annabelle Creation is a American supernatural horror film directed by David F. Sandberg, written by Gary Dauberman, and produced by Peter Safran and James Wan. It is, of course, a prequel to 2014's Annabelle, and it is the fourth overall installment in the Conjuring universe franchise. The film stars Stephanie Sigmund, Talitha Bateman, Anthony LaPaglia, and Miranda Otto, and it depicts the possessed Annabelle doll's origin story. Very fun film here, and we get to see that this doll is capable of multiple supernatural things. Really like the performance from Anthony LaPaglia, and like I said, guys, when it comes to the Annabelle films, there's 3 of them. This is the only one that I really think is a superb horror film. Let's take a look at the trailer for Annabelle Creation.
This is our new orphanage. It's as big as a castle.
Feel free to use the house as you see fit. Mrs. Mullins and I stay down here. Your rooms are upstairs. Locked, and it stays that way.
Hello? You're the Mullen's daughter, aren't you?
Can you help me?
What do you need?
Janice says she's seen your daughter.
My daughter has been dead for a very long time.
She was taken from us at an early age. We prayed to see our beloved girl again. The contact started small, but then it wanted permission to move into a doll so that it could be with us forever. We said yes.
Your sister is coming after me.
Who?
The evil presence. It's because I'm the weakest.
It's the doll. The devil. Annabelle?
At number 9, we're heading across the pond for Ghost Stories, a British horror film written and directed by Jeremy Dyson and Andy Nyman, based on their 2010 stage play of the same name. It stars Nyman reprising his role from the play as a man devoted to debunking fraudulent psychics. From here, we see the man is tasked by one of his heroes in this same field with solving 3 unexplained paranormal events. Paul Whitehouse, Alex Lawther, and of course the great Martin Freeman co-star as the individuals who attest to these supernatural encounters. A very fun film. I love the twist at the end of this one, guys. Let's take a look at the trailer for Ghost Stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Professor Philip Goodman. My job is to explain the unexplainable, untangle the truth from the fiction. You don't have to have your life ruled by superstitious fear.
Mr. Goodman, everything you have spent a lifetime trying to debunk the supernatural, it's all true. 3 cases I couldn't explain. You go and investigate if you dare. Things are not always as they seem.
You tell me about your incident.
You don't believe, do you?
Hello?
I don't want people looking at me and thinking that I'm mad. Because I know what I saw.
No. Do you believe in evil, Professor?
I didn't. Until that night.
Maria?
These are signs.
I know you're still there!
The spirit.
I understand how easy it is to get confused.
Don't let them thoughts get into your head, mate.
Everything is exactly as it seems.
You don't know everything.
Wait, I don't like it.
The brain sees what it wants to see.
At number 8, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's an Irish-British psychological horror tragedy film directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. It stars Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, Barry Keoghan, Rafe Cassidy, and Alicia Silverstone. Now, this story is based somewhat on a Greek tragedy. The story of Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek army against Troy. He accidentally kills a deer in one of Artemis's sacred fields, and then is told by a seer that he must now kill his eldest daughter to pay that toll. Agamemnon is initially reluctant, but is pressured into sacrificing his daughter by his commanders, and in some tellings of this story, he actually replaces her with a sacred deer or goat. And in some versions, she goes on to become deified by Artemis after being transported. So it's an interesting story, but here the film follows a cardiac surgeon played by Colin Farrell who secretly befriends a teenage boy with a connection to his past. He then introduces the boy to his family, who begin to fall mysteriously ill. Now, the film implies that this boy believes Colin Farrell to be responsible for his father's untimely death. Because of this, he somehow curses Colin Farrell's family. And what happens is, one by one, they start to get sick, they fall ill, the daughter becomes paralyzed, the boy gets sick, and his eyes even start to bleed at one point. And basically what this film is about is accepting the truth of this supernatural event. The father ultimately has to come to a decision that this is real, and if I don't do something, my family is going to die. And what he must do is choose one of the members of his family to sacrifice. This is a very interesting film, a high quality story with a shocking ending. Let's take a look at the trailer for The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
We don't have to worry about nothing, 'cause we got the fire and we're burning one hell of a something. They're gonna see us from outer space.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about Bod.
It's nothing serious.
No, it is.
Like we're the stars of the human race. Where
did you two go?
When the lights started out, they don't know the match, playing loud, giving love to the world.
How did his father die?
We'll be raising
A surgeon never kills a patient. An anesthesiologist can kill a patient, but a surgeon never can.
'cause we got the fire.
Don't be scared, Mom. You'll see. You won't be able to move either. But you'll get used to
Let
it.
it burn, burn, burn.
Where is she? What did you do to her?
Let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, burn, burn.
I don't understand why I should have to pay the price. Why my children should have to pay the price.
Let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna
It's the only thing I can think of as close to justice.
We can light it up, so they can put it out, out, out.
At number 7, Berlin Syndrome. It's an Australian-French psychological thriller horror film directed by Kate Shortland, written by Sean Grant, and starring Teresa Palmer and Max Renault. The film is based on the novel of the same name by Melanie Justin and tells the story of a young Australian photographer who travels to Germany where she meets an attractive young German teacher. Waking up after a stormy night of passion with him, the photographer is suddenly taken hostage by her would-be lover. The film is basically a battle of wills between a stalker/psychopath and a young woman who is highly intelligent and very capable of finding a way out of this situation. It's a great film. Let's take a look at the trailer for Berlin Syndrome.
No, that's okay. I'm Andy.
Cloud.
Did a boy give you that?
No. My mom said if I ever got into trouble, I could hock it and come home.
So why did you come to Berlin?
You know those life experiences that people talk about all the time?
I don't want this to end.
I wish I could stay. I was actually gonna go. Andy, what is going on?
You said you want to stay?
Open the door!
No one can hear you.
The character is constantly moving. He feels shame about himself.
You don't have to do this.
We are a team.
There's nowhere for me to go.
How do you think this is going? Us?
At number 6, 1922. It's an American horror drama film written and directed by Zach Hilditch, based on Stephen King's 2010 novella of the same name. The film stars Thomas Jane, Neil McDonough, and Molly Parker, and was released on Netflix October 20th, 2017. Now, guys, this comes from one of my favorite Stephen King books, Full Dark, No Stars. It's one of my favorite sections of the book. There's been a few of them made into movies. I believe also A Good Marriage and Big Driver were turned into films, smaller budget films. But this is probably my favorite story in the whole anthology. It tells a simple but macabre story of a father, a mother, and a son living on a farm in 1922. The mother wants out. She wants to sell the property and go to live in town. The father does not want to lose the farm. The mother is also a loud, boisterous drunk. She also seems to enjoy verbally abusing both her husband and her son. Now, the father and the son come to a point where they can't go on any further with her or what she's about to do, and they create a plot to murder her and to dump the body and make it look like she ran away and just live their lives and be happy. But nothing ever goes that way in Stephen King land. I remember the imagery from this book was so shocking to me, just the way I pictured it. And I thought they did an excellent job conveying that on film with this movie. Let's take a look at the trailer for 1922.
In 1922, a man's pride was a man's land. And so was his son. My wife, she wanted us to leave all this behind.
We could move.
Cities are for fools.
We divorce. We both know that's what you want. Life is rarely fair, especially out here.
And I believe that there's another man inside every man. A conniving man.
I'm gonna sell. You, my son, are coming with me.
This is our house. In 1922, I murdered my wife. Want a glass of lemonade, Sheriff?
Can I look in the house?
She only took the one suitcase.
Woman, that'd be crazy to leave a nice house like this one.
You touched me! I'm happy You cursed it all!
I hope there is no God, because if there is no heaven, and there is no hell.
At number 5, Creep 2. It's an American found footage psychological horror film directed by Patrick Bryce and written by Bryce and, of course, the star, Mark Duplass. It is a sequel to Bryce's 2014 film Creep, which was also written by Duplass and Bryce. Duplass, of course, reprises his role here from the first film as a serial killer who lures unsuspecting videographers to their deaths, with Desiree Akavan portraying his latest target. Now, most of the time, guys, sequels aren't nearly as good as the originals. This one rivals its original. It's very good. It's still very creepy, and Mark Duplass takes this all in a new direction as we see a serial killer going through a midlife crisis. Easily one of the best new villains of the last decade, guys. Let's take a look at the trailer for Creep 2.
I'm Sarah. Hey, welcome to Encounters.
Sunday morning, I woke up.
I'm Sarah.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
The show where I look behind the strange world of online personal ads. What is their story? Who are these people? So subscribe and join me on this journey. You never know who you might meet next. Hello?
Hello.
Ever since I turned 40, I've lost my inspiration. I have no joy.
I'm having a hard time.
What am I doing trying to make the films that I used to make? What if I make a documentary? And this is where you come in.
I have no idea what I'm stepping into.
Together, I believe we will make magic.
Aaron, is that you?
You are inspiring feelings in me. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God. This is gonna be a good day. I'm very excited about it, okay?
Sunday morning.
Are you ready to go?
Wow, you're a tough nut to crack.
At number 4, Cargo. It's an Australian post-apocalyptic horror drama film directed by Ben Halling and Yolanda Ramke, with a screenplay by Ramke based on their 2013 short film of the same name. The film stars, of course, Martin Freeman, who is back again in 2017, killing it, Simone Landers, Anthony Hayes, Susie Porter, and Carrion Pistorius. It premiered at the Adelaide Film Festival on October 6th, 2017, and hit Netflix in May of 2018. Now, the plot revolves around a family, Andy Kay and their baby Rosie, who are living safely on a houseboat at the beginning or midpoint of the zombie apocalypse here. They are short on food, and while investigating, the wife Kay is actually bitten by a zombie. And then they try to get her to a hospital. There's an accident. She ends up biting Andy. And now we're in a race against time. Andy has just a certain amount of time before he turns, a couple days. And he is trying to get his daughter, their baby Rosie, to a safe place, any kind of safe place where someone can take care of her. Meanwhile, he runs into some crazy characters along the way, including a very great character here as a Toomey, an Aboriginal girl who attempts to protect her infected father and also helps guide Andy on his journey. A great film. I'm not big on zombie films anymore. They really have to do something to get my attention at this point. There's been so many different versions of zombie films and different takes on that and different takes on that. So, yeah, this one really got my attention. It's a great film. Let's take a look at the trailer for Cargo.
You're the first people I've seen. The first people who are still people.
What's the count left on them?
46 hours, give or take.
They're setting out hunting parties. If you want to give this baby a second chance, you just stay away.
What's this?
Just making hay while the sun shines.
The sun's not shining, Beck.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Promise you. Let's help each other.
Rosie?
This way. We gotta find the clever man. If you're sick, he can give you good medicine.
If I don't make it to the hills,
You're all I've got.
You can't lose hope.
Only girl you need to be worried about is your own.
We're here. So when things get back to normal, it's not gonna happen, is it?
I don't think normal's on the horizon.
At number 3, Get Out. It's an American horror film written and directed by Jordan Peele in his directorial debut. It stars Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Lil Rel Howery, Bradley Whitford, Caleb Landry Jones, Stephen Root, Catherine Kinnear, and Lakeith Stanfield. Get Out follows Chris Washington, a young African American male who uncovers a disturbing secret when he meets the family of his white girlfriend, Rose Armitage. It's creepy when you just say when he meets the family of his white girlfriend, and it kind of conveys what's happening, that it's not going to end well. That's a sad plot point, but it is true in this film. I enjoyed this first effort from Peele a lot, and it just kind of feels like a really great episode of The Outer Limits with some fun gore added to it. Film also has an amazing soundtrack. One of my favorite artists, Donald Glover, better known as Childish Gambino, is on this soundtrack. So let's take a look, guys, at the trailer for Get Out.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
I ain't never seen you like this before, bruh. Meeting families, taking road trips. Don't come back all bougie, man. Come back, get your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you hug me, my man. So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go. Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
I'm back in the beat.
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb.
But it's cool.
Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here.
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here.
Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo! Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose?
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
No. No. No.
A mine is a terrible thing to waste.
At number 2, It Chapter 1. It's an American supernatural horror film, of course, based on Stephen King's 1986 novel of the same name, of which, guys, I have a first edition signed copy, probably my most prized possession of all time. This film was produced by New Line Cinema and Vertigo Entertainment and distributed by Warner Brothers, and it was the first film in the new It film series. Now, there's not much I can talk about with this one that you guys don't already know. The film is directed by Andy Muschietti, written by Chase Palmer. Cary Fukunaga, who originally signed on to direct, was also credited with writing the screenplay. The film stars Jaden Lieberher, Bill Skarsgård, Jeremy Ray Taylor, Sophia Lilius, Finn Wolford, and Wyatt Olaf. Just a great cast of young actors. The movie works, and regardless of what you feel about this, or whether you like the original miniseries better than this film, just consider this. The movie made over $750 million worldwide, and that money will definitely trickle down, folks. Trust me, there will be more horror projects that get okayed all the way from the top to the bottom. When people see that they can make money off of something, they're going to start putting money into it, and horror films are hot right now because of films like The Conjuring and It, and these big, huge blockbusters like the new Halloween movie that we just had a couple years ago. So, yeah, that movie does come down to the independent artist and everything. So, even if you don't like these big budget CGI movies, or you didn't appreciate this film because it's not what you grew up with, you still have to put some respect on it, guys. $750 million for a horror movie. That is amazing. It's probably made over $1 billion by now, considering I'm sure they showed it back to back with It Chapter 2 in some theaters after that came out. So, guys, without further ado, let's take a look at the trailer for It Chapter 1.
When you're a kid, you think the universe revolves around you. You think that you'll always be protected and cared for. Then, one day, you realize that's not true. Because when you're alone as a kid, the monsters see you as weaker. You don't even know they're getting closer. Till it's too late.
Here. Take it.
My grandfather thinks this town is cursed. That all the bad things that happen in this town are because of one thing. An evil thing.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too.
Georgie. I saw something.
The clown. Yeah, I saw him too. You'll float too.
What happens when another Georgie goes missing? Or one of us?
You'll float too.
Are you just gonna pretend it isn't happening like everyone else in this town? If we stick together, we'll win.
At number 1, Terrified, also known as Aterrados in Spanish. It's an Argentinian horror film written and directed by Demian Rugna concerning a series of supernatural events in a neighborhood of Buenos Aires. Guys, this film is absolutely terrifying. Trust me, it starts off with a shocking scene and builds from there. We see different stories following different people in this community, and they are all being haunted. And then a special unit is brought in to kind of try to figure out what's going on here, and things don't get any better for them. Great film, one of my favorites of the last decade for sure, guys. If you haven't seen Terrified, you have to check it out. Of all the films on this list, you definitely have to see this one. Let's take a look at the trailer for Terrified.
¿Qué es lo que está pasando, chiquito? ¿Por qué viniste a visitarnos? ¿Qué es lo que te trajo hasta acá?
¿Pero qué es lo que implica todo esto?
Esto implica que nosotros tres vamos a dividirnos en cada una de las casas donde creemos que ocurren los fenómenos paranormales.
Señora, acá las cosas se están poniendo muy difíciles.
Usted puede elegir a no estar aquí.
¿Qué carajo es eso?
No tiene que tener sangre en las manos, no en este lugar. A estos seres les gusta la sangre.
All right, horror fans, there you have it. My top 10 favorite horror films of 2017. And I said we were going to talk about a few honorable mentions. Normally we don't do this, but there were just so many this year, and I had to leave so many off the list that I wanted to at least mention them. Mother, which, I was a little torn on. Is Mother a horror film? It's more like a theological discussion, if you ask me. But it was a very interesting film that I enjoyed a lot. Of course, The Ritual, which was another Netflix release that we didn't get to talk about. That was a great film. I highly recommend to anybody out there. It's one of those films that, it could easily go as high as 5 or 4 on this list, and I just couldn't find a place where I wanted to talk about it as much as I wanted to talk about another film. Also, It Comes at Night. This one people were torn on. It seems, it's a little slow, but I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good. Jigsaw, which was not the worst of the Saw movies by far. The Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead film, The Endless, was worth checking out. Tigers Are Not Afraid, which kind of felt more like a dramatic film to me than a horror film, but it's definitely worth a look if you haven't seen it. And just some other ones. There was a lot of great movies for kids like The Bye Bye Man and Wish Upon and stuff like that. Veronica was another hit that Netflix had that people seemed to enjoy. Mayhem, which was released on Shudder, I believe, was a great film that very similar to like the Belko incident with more comedy. The Bride was also very good, and a couple that we definitely have to talk about, guys. Happy Death Day. Where does Happy Death Day fit for me? I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot, but it is just Groundhog Day with a horror element added to it. And it's only so much fun. You have to put it somewhere. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both of them. Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, but I just couldn't squeeze it into the top 10 here. And the other one, that I definitely wanted to talk about was Alien Covenant. I liked that film a lot. I thought it was pretty good. It's hard not to mention it just because it's not as great as some of the other Alien films. Doesn't make it any less great than it is compared to the films of 2017. Jeepers Creepers 3, some people liked it, some people didn't. I could have took it or left it. It wasn't really great in my opinion. Satan's Slave was a good remake of a 1980 film that was very interesting. Of course, Gerald's Game, another Stephen King adaptation. And I even liked Amityville: The Awakening, the film they did that kind of tried to bring Amityville back into the mix. Didn't really work, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good for an Amityville film. Also, the sniper film Downrange is another one that I really wanted to get into that top 10, but just couldn't. Some people would probably argue with me that the other Netflix film, The Babysitter, belongs on this list. I just personally wasn't a huge fan of that movie. Or the French rape revenge film just titled Revenge. I didn't like that one very much either. I'm still conflicted about that film. It's so odd to me that a female directed that film because there's some crazy sexist stuff, misogynistic things in that film, and it's crazy. It's one of those films that makes you question, like, if a female directs a film, does that make it okay for the film to be then misogynistic? It's odd, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what we had from 2017, guys. I had fun going over these with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please, by all means, leave your comments below. Let me know where I messed up, how crazy I am for not adding your favorite film or for not having it higher on my list. And guys, we will talk to you the next time we've got something worth talking about. Bye.